Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Morning Devotions with Gretchen. Today is part 2 of a subject that is very rarely talked about, and I hope that if you haven't listened to part 1, you would go back and listen to that, because the way that we're discussing the subject of Sabbath rest is probably different than you have considered it before, or maybe you have never even considered it. I know it was mentioned to me many times before I really decided, you know what, I want to make this a regular part of my life. And so today I am continuing on with part 2. Again, this is going to make a lot more sense to you if you listen to yesterday's. And just as a reminder, I am no longer putting up videos on Monday for the purpose of allowing you time to go back and re-listen to one from last week that spoke to your heart. It's so important that we honor what God is highlighting to us, and we are so used to rushing, and not sitting with the things that the Holy Spirit brings to our attention. And so this whole subject of Sabbath is a key reminder that God gave us the gift of Sabbath. Jesus said in Mark that Sabbath was made for man. It's a gift to us. Sabbath was made for man. Man wasn't made for Sabbath. So the day of rest doesn't need us. We need the day of rest. And so I'm going to continue on. I read yesterday and today from my book, Encountering the Divine, The Transforming Power of Being with God. And you can find it on Amazon. And hey, if this has been a blessing to you, if you're new, or you are someone who's listened to these from the beginning when I first started recording these, would you, if they're blessing you, share this with a friend? I would love to get this into the hands of more people who you think would really get something out of it. So, all right, I'm going to continue reading from this. And again, just open your heart. That's all you have to do. No, if you're like, yeah, this is totally not the subject I want to start my day with. Well, maybe you're reacting that way because your flesh is freaking out. Just saying. Okay, I'm going to continue reading from the book on this subject. So here's what I wrote. Continuing on from yesterday. Parents and caregivers usually don't have the luxury of a regular Sabbath day off. We must grab whatever moments we can in these situations and treat them intentionally. When our girls were little, I occasionally asked my husband, Len, for an hour or two by myself. On those days when Len came home, I'd bathe, read a book, spend an hour in worship, or just rest. Let's be honest, when you have little ones, going to the bathroom without them barging in is a welcome treat. Can anybody relate to that? For all of us, but especially those who have no one to relieve them from their duties long enough to take this extra day or even hour of rest, I'd like to suggest what has been referred to as a Sabbath pause. These are moments offered to us throughout the day that we usually oppose or ignore. They are the empty minutes that we stand in line, tap our impatient fingers while placed on hold, sit in traffic, or wait for someone. Instead of getting frustrated about the inconvenience, consider these opportunities to enjoy a Sabbath pause. Welcome these interruptions and lean into them. Turn your attention to God's love. Take slow, deep breaths and let the awareness of His presence wash over you. Yield any stress to Him and let His peace flood your thoughts. We can also choose to create these pauses throughout the day. Common everyday activities can become cues to release tension and remember the goodness of God. For example, whenever you open the pantry door or refrigerator, whisper, "I love you, Lord." When you go to the restroom, resist the urge to check your phone and instead turn your thoughts to Jesus. Let bathing time be an opportunity to quiet your mind instead of thinking about the cares of life. Whether you have the blessing of a whole day to rest or are in a season when Sabbath pauses will have to do, count any chance to be still and know as a precious gift. The more you practice being aware of God's presence, the easier it is to recognize the opportunities of stillness when they arrive. Another idea for those unable to take a Sabbath rest or those still on the fence is to do a digital detox. 1 day a week or more, if you're brave, don't use any electronics. This means no cell phone, laptop, or TV, including listening to teaching or music, no texting, listening to podcasts, etc. Even if the constant influx of external content feeds our spirits, it also creates a dependence on others to escort us into God's presence and teach us. He wants us to be confident in His leading and teaching. Listening to podcasts, worship music, and texting a friend are great, but taking a break from them can help create a quieter space for reflection and rest. Taking a day or even a partial day to give your brain a break will do wonders for you. Try it. And friends, I hope that you will try it. You know, most of you are listening to this at the start of your day. Why don't you allow those pauses in your day that usually feel so uncomfortable? Use those as an on-ramp to the presence of God. We are so used to filling every empty space in our lives. Let's remember that these too can be a gift, a Sabbath pause for you to reconnect and enjoy the presence of God. I hope this has been a blessing to you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a great day, friends.